All right. And it's happening, the moment we've all been waiting for, the moment I've been looking forward to. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to it, the very first episode, Views and Vibes by JVan, the podcast broadcasting live from Victoria Falls, the adventure capital of Africa. And of course, if you can check around, you can see ukuthi kahle kahle, I'm in the middle of the Zambezi. This is how we chose to bring this podcast to you. As the world, ladies and gentlemen, this is how we choose to start this whole thing. This is how we choose to show you that we're really serious about what we're doing. So when it comes to this right here, our podcast, Views and Vibes, basically what we're going to be discussing on most of our shows, we're going to be talking about tourism, anything and everything to do with tourism. We're going to be having those conversations right here. And of course, the other thing is mainly entertainment. So tourism and entertainment is what we are all about. However, we can never, ever, ever ignore, the society we live in. So basically, we might touch on other things, this and that, anything that's happening, that's current affairs. Of course, we might touch on that. But don't forget, Views and Vibes. It's all about tourism and entertainment. And of course, our first guest is Mr. Charles Chakanya. Mr. Chakanya, thank you so much for blessing us with your presence. This is episode 1. You are the first person to be our guest. You chose to host us on your boat. You chose to put us in the middle of the Zambezi. I think this is going to be obviously one of a kind of episode and podcast.
Thank you very much, JVan, for coming on to the mighty Zambezi. Obviously, this is one of the 4 longest rivers in Africa, the Nile being the biggest, and the Zambezi, the mighty Zambezi, is number 4. So yes, you're breaking new grounds.
Yeah.
The first podcast on the water, the mighty Zambezi, the river that flows to the Victoria Falls. So yes, this is a monumental time for the podcast industry, and hopefully the interviewers or the viewers at all will enjoy the sights, the scenes, and the stories behind the Zambezi.
And remember, I told you about this last year. It's been like 1 full year since I was like, okay, we're going to do the podcast. We're going to do the podcast until I think it's finally time. But for some people, they may not know you as much as I know you. I know you because at least for a year, we've worked closely together. To some who may not know, I'm actually the brand ambassador for Kalai Safaris. And we've been doing this for a year. But there may be people who may not know you and may not know about Kalai Safaris. Can maybe just give us a brief background about you?
Right. The official name, yes, it's Charles Chakanya. Some would call me Mr. Kalai.
Yeah, Mr. Kalai.
And yes, we have been in the industry for 2 decades, more than 2 decades. If I say more, then I'll sound like a very old person.
Yeah.
But 2 decades, I think, is sufficient.
Yeah, it is.
Yes, started off in research, made a career choice to join tourism. The initial choice was supposed to be journalism.
Yeah, should have come to media.
That's a very stupid space, because at times in life, one's opinion or one's voice might not be a good opinion for others.
Oh, yeah.
But in tourism, what you see is what you get.
Yeah.
The experiences and the memories are for one to judge. You do not have to wait for a scribe to make their comment or to write something. So I switched to the more peaceful to the more fun, more tourism sector. Yes.
Is it true you were once a DJ? It's just for a short time or something?
Nowadays they call it a side hustle. I think that was a hustle back then.
Or
as I said, yes, journalism was my interest race. And back in those days, radio was big.
yes.
And yes, we would carry around vinyl. Nowadays, people are using flash discs.
Yeah.
So yes,
This is in quality of phone this day.
educate. So yes, big up. I think just after high school, that was one preface that I followed, and wanted to make a career choice again, to stick to being a DJ or to migrate to the more formal world.
Yeah.
So that's how I ended up into the tourism sector.
And now you're an owner of a boating company. How did that happen? A lot of people know this, that you, especially when it comes to black people, there's not a lot of black people in the space that check in. Of course, there are now more players that are black people, but most successful big companies are white-owned, foreign-owned. If you want in Zimbabwe, you know that was some of the biggest companies the owners might be outside of the country. How do you get into that space and why?
I think the biggest inspiration is one's passion in the sector. And being some of the pioneers in tourism, you didn't realize that there's a gap in the market where you'd call them the local people or the black people. That market has not been interested upon compared to other markets. Your traditional tourists is your Caucasians, Chinese, or your Indians. But when you look at the continent right now, even when you look at on the Victoria Falls, you have mainly foreigners coming in. You don't have your Nigeria, you don't have your Obolese from the area. So it's a process that we are in as a people, as black people, that now that we're exposed, now we're setting up our businesses, mainly to cater for our own people, because the needs for those sectors again are different. The blacks are more of a emerging market. It's an upcoming, huge market. Whether you look at South Africa, Botswana, Kenya, and you need your own people to be able to step up, set up a boating company, and deal with the needs of your market. So that's the inspiration and the passion of having been exposed to, yes, an industry that has been predominantly other races and tribes.
And I think also COVID-19 may have played a little bit of a part, because before that I never knew of any tourism operator who would like have something specifically for the locals. Now, not looking at maybe people coming out from outside of the country, but somebody actually targeting the Zimbabweans, with their products.
It did. COVID taught us a huge lesson. The life that teach you that charity plays at all.
Yes.
So we don't back it our space for our own people. It's so the passion that is realized that pitch care we did our own. We can't really say COVID was a basic. It was a necessity
For us to look at things differently and seek mysterious. Yeah. All right. Now coming to this. So recently, Zimbabwe, rather the post was given that Ramsar status, the wetland assist status. So that is something that is actually taking very nice. That's something that has been do that is something that is gonna cut. But now I would like to keep your brain careful. Does this actually have an actual return? No, it can't do as a tourist thing, because that is how it has been said. I've read a lot about it. I've said a certain thing about it, and I understand in general to say, okay, this is supposed to give us more partner. This is supposed to give us, get us more donation. This is supposed to bring us, but in reality, at Unicate, there's someone who is open to research. Do you think it brings anything that reach each double?
it really does. The outside the fishes of investment of pupils with the is huge. I don't know how it's quite it. I mean, but okay. It's a huge endorsement in terms of I want to give you the anatomy of a human being and Mother Nature. Yes, right. When you get an endorsement or when you are certified as one who's compliant with your wetlands, is similar to a human body where you've got healthy kidneys. So your wetlands are like a kidneys in a human being. And once you're able to uphold very functional, it means the body is okay. So for Victoria Falls with its UNESCO World Heritage Site status, and being able to be an approved wetland city, it means that as a country we are following the environmental requirements to sustain a very important aspect of nature. Wetlands give the ecosystem the balance that Mother Earth needs. So in terms of the benefit of being a wetland city, is more saying that the area that you are in is more healthier. In you as a person, the general populace in that area. But in terms of sustainability, it gives the area more life compared to a place where they were following those guidelines. So it's a huge endorsement for a phenomenon like Victoria Falls to have that backup, to say that over and above the beauty that the falls give, these guys are also compliant in terms of their wetlands. Whereas you've got it.
Do you expect it to like get us more travelers? You know, like your eco traveler type.
If you look at where the world is going to now, most kids are very sensitive of where they go or where they spend their holidays. So once you put those ticks that Victoria Falls, besides the falls, is environmentally sustainable, is following the bodies of good ambassadors of the environment, it's a huge endorsement. It's unlike going to an area where there's massive population, disregard of the environment. It takes people away. So right now we're ticking the right boxes in terms of being the destination of choice for people.
All right. If you can create one signature, say one signature eco experience for visitors, what would it be?
One signature experience, you can't really describe it, but it always has to be centered with the Victoria Falls. And some have described it like David Livingstone. He said that since South Africa Pacific case by ages. But what that stands out more from a Christian side is what that speaks about God.
All right.
That the Victoria Falls are God's way of showing off.
Yeah.
If you understand how mighty God is and Him being able to show off in this little part of our world, that's one signature that no one could copy, no one can understand, and it stands out. So when you look at in every human being, whether you're an atheist or whether you're a Christian, the Victoria Falls view is just out of this world. You can't put a proper description onto it.
All right. Do you have any upcoming projects or policies tied to this particular recognition?
I think more to do with education. Where, as a society, as a people, the more we get to understand how important wetlands are. Again, when you look at it from a cultural perspective, most of them were there within our traditions and our norms. But because of the need for commercialization or capitalism, is disregard of that.
Okay.
So you'd find that the more we have constant education amongst civic society, which is like your households, which is like your villagers, to understand that not everything is for cultivation.
Yes.
So it's a continuous process amongst every citizen to realize that we have to be conscious of arable land, a wetland, a crazy land. Yes.
All right. No, I totally understand. I totally understand. Now, my next conversation is a little bit, let me say, tricky. Tricky because I've been watching how people are conversating about it on social media. We have an issue with the road,
Right.
our Bulawayo Victoria Falls road. So just two weeks ago, I went to Bulawayo and back. I think the first day it took us 9.5 hours, right, to get to Bulawayo. So the road is generally bad. And then now there are detours with the assumption that they are fixing the parts. Unfortunately, I couldn't see the first day. By the time we got to the detours, it was dark. Same because when I was coming back. Right. So I was unable to actually see is there any kind of is there any kind of progress when it comes to the roads? You know, are they building? But somebody told me that there is progress that's being made. But now the issue with that road is that from a perspective maybe of somebody who's part of the industry, when somebody goes online and only speaks about how bad the road is, I know how that affects us. But also the other problem is that we cannot hide that problem for it to surprise a tourist, you know. So I don't know what you think about it.
I think very importantly, as a people or as a nation, we have to understand that at some point we have to deal with our roads as a country. And it's how then we manage that process. The government is spending a lot of money to rehabilitate. But as I said in the order, the issue of wetlands is the education. There's need to encourage more people on day traveling as opposed to night driving. Because the road is being repaired, so you have challenges, whether it's a pothole, whether it's the works on the road. So again, as an operator, when a client is traveling here, I try and emphasize that. Try to do as much driving during the day and rest during the night, so that at least we can allow for the phase where they are repairing the roads and making it more easier for travelers to move. It's a huge task.
So the last report I saw, the government was saying that it's gonna take around 10 months,
right,
to complete that. But I'm sure it was something from National or something.
Right.
And my biggest worry being, from what I experienced, hey, the road is painful. If you've been on that road recently, the road is painful. So from what I experienced, I was thinking, okay, if it's going to be like this when it comes to the rainy season, and you do know that especially December, we usually have a lot of people coming in, and even especially locals, they might be discouraged because of the road, or they might be troubled as well, you know, when they actually come. Is the response quick enough?
Well, the response times, road construction takes a bit of time. It's not a walk in the path where you just wake up in the morning and it's dark. The issue that's there more when I look at it from an operator is the solutions. And we've got two very interesting solutions. One expensive, one a bit affordable. The two options when your road is being constructed is the air passage.
Okay.
So what solution is advise passengers to travel by air, but air travel is expensive. It's limited. It's only a few people that will afford it. The other alternative is your rail. And I think for
Well, is our rail working? Like,
Yes.
do we have a train from here to Bulawayo now? No,
we do. I think again when I look at this subject, you have to be objective and give solutions that even government when they hear, they realize that we are doing work on the road. So what are the alternatives?
Yes.
So we beef up our railway.
They must give us that
Actually what?
the train that they did for Mutare. And the Sangana Yapera. So
I think JVan got the point there where the solution is there. But it might be the willpower.
all right.
Government is to set up and say, you know what, let's pick up NRZ. Let's draw our coaches very nice. We used to have some very nice coaches at Bulawayo way back, which were blue, which were very high.
Yes, I remember Blue Train. As a kid, I used to use that one a lot.
Yes. So you'd find that we have the solutions. The road needs to be repaired. But we're not moving fast enough to realize that NRZ is a huge solution. But for me, when I look at it, NRZ is more solutions to a lot of issues.
Okay.
The damage to the road was mainly because of the trucks.
Yes. Yes.
So at some point, we need to take away the trucks off the road. And the solution, again, we're going back to NRZ. NRZ has to be capacitated to say, you know what, whatever coal that we need to move, you are banning the use of haulage trucks on our roads. And the alternative is the railways. It's got sleeper cabins. It's a 24-hour journey between, but not even 24 hours, that's about 14 hours. Departures at 7, arrive at Bulawayo at 7 the next day.
The question now is, are those things working as well? But as a solution, it sounds good.
You know what? I think for us as a people, we had to see a shift. If you look at the transport sector, deliberate. Most of the players came up and were able to purchase the famous what you call bagodit.
Yes.
And they forgot that there's a big damage to the road infrastructure. If you look at in the world, there's not much haulage being done by trucks.
Yeah.
It is all moved to rail. So if government makes an effort to say...
We went the opposite direction.
That's what we did. So we need to I always like to call it a paradigm shift by a husband to wake up at bad.
Okay. And I say, yo. I think there'll be too much pushback from the players. And I like to think people in government, some of them are the ones owning those. So I don't see how that one passes in parliament.
Yes, I think that's a huge debate, but I think if we're going to be serious about it, we are currently repairing the road, but we're not moving away from the problem. Yeah, as I'm saying, the problem is, for example, working, yes, as we call it. Yes. The coal mining is booming. It's at its highest. So there's going to be a lot of biting. There's going to be a lot of movement. But what makes economic sense, as I said earlier on the wetlands, the issue of capitalism. Those what are going to push more of the trucks, okay, at the expense of the roads. All right. So as a people, we need to make a subconscious decision. What is it that we want, and how, in the long run, the railway is a solution. In the short term, yes, the house cuts the doors, but at what expense? So it's a very a hard part for the players who are in the sector of haulage trucks. But for the country for it, for the need for a good, efficient road network, the solution is the rail.
All right. So railway for the cargo, and then as a long-term solution. And then for passengers in this short period of time, the problem that I was talking about, to say we already have a problem, and I think December is going to be worse. You think that's the NRS should be the solution?
In other words, is this solution, but there's also a bit of the excessive nature. But what it does, it splits you a bit hard. If you look at Victoria Polski is where right Carol. What's what?
Yes.
So ideally, some passengers want a bit of adventure because we're talking tourists.
You go around. Yeah, I have friends who have actually gone around.
Yes.
That's going to add, Cousin Gula is like what, 100? Yes. Almost 100 Ks. Plumpy as well. That's going to add at least minimum 200 Ks to your trip. But that is if you're into adventure.
Right.
Yeah, well, if you're holidaying, you can actually afford to do that. But maybe for me, for now, what would you advise people? We don't have those solutions yet. So at least the first one is you're saying that they can go around, go via Botswana. That is for now. Mine is, if you're going to be traveling, number one, just as you plan. Don't say I'll arrive in Falls at 2, then at 5 I'm doing this. As you plan, give yourself 10 hours to say I'm going to be on the road 10 hours. And that is so that in case you don't have any kind of, because I noticed when we're going that side, we sell at least 3 cars, right? So that had broken down, because the small cars, especially on the off ramps, there when they were on the detours, it becomes a problem. So I think maybe my advice to anybody is give yourself a long time. If you're planning to travel to Big Falls from Bulawayo by road, minimum give yourself 10 hours, especially if you're in a small car. Then just know that you're going to have to take it extremely slow. Just know that you have to, how to explain this? You have to set your mindset due to the fact that I'm going to be on the road for a very long time. And then make sure you have, I don't know, supplies.
Right.
Just have things. And also there's, those, for me, it was the simple, small things.
Right.
Where you are now in the bush there, then you discover you don't have, your battery charger. Something as simple as you don't have your power bank, it becomes a problem. By the way, I had an unfortunate scenario. When I was going, it was a long trip.
Right.
Fine, now I know how long it is. When I was coming back, I planned my whole thing. So I left at 2 p.m. and I told myself it's a bus. They're able to move a little bit quicker than small cars on these things. And I had said to myself, I leave at 2 p.m. I'm arriving at 12 midnight. I arrived at 4. Because that bus also had a breakdown. Whoa. So I had at least 1.5 to 2 hours somewhere after in Suza, after the first detour from Bulawayo. And then when we got to Wangi, we had to wait for another bus. I think it had a problem as well. So eventually I spent 2.5 to 3 hours just waiting and not counting that. So you're going to have to know the type of car that you're using. If you don't trust your car, leave your car, hire a car in force. I think that's also a better option. You can use your bus from Harare. I think from 4 p.m. you can arrive here in the morning or something.
Right.
And then you can hire a car. That's the second advice. The first being, know that you're going to be on the road for a long time. Have supplies. Then the third one, leave your car, get into a bus. They make money. Don't worry.
True.
They don't mind. And then when you get here, you can always hire a car. Any other maybe of advice?
Yeah, I think the one that stands out more for anyone is to do coach travel. I think we've got about 4 or 5 coaches coming up here. For me, it's actually the best way you convert your sleep time into travel. So if you're leaving around, let's say at 5 o'clock, you'll be arriving in Vic Falls the next day. So in that aspect, you're going to sleep.
Yeah.
So waking up at 3
Yes, it is. Yeah.
And if you pick up a car, you can run around for the next 2 or 3 days. There are smaller vehicles to the high U SUV vehicles, so the choice is split. But what you've afforded yourself is to be able to sleep and travel.
Yeah.
And waking up in Victoria Falls, I can tell you nothing beats that. So that is what I would recommend people to say, what, they should buy into coach travel.
Yeah.
You relax, you don't have any pressures. Arrive in Victoria Falls. If someone meets you, give you a car, and then 2 days you are on the go. And one important aspect about that night when you travel on coach, you're literally saving a lot of money in terms of accommodation.
Yeah.
Where you were supposed to spend $100 or $200 in Big Falls, coach is about $50. So it's a huge saving.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So the bonus of that is huge. As much as we're saying that road construction is a huge challenge, people need to make hay with what they have.
Yeah, we can't just complain.
Yes.
I remember this one time there was the famous pothole photo, and I used to say to my friends that I also think there's a problem with people actually living in Vic Falls. Understand me what I mean? When that pothole, the photo went viral.
Right.
It's a good thing for obviously the issues also to be put out there, whether to our authorities and also to the world, whatever. But also as a player in tourism, you might want to question why is it when somebody searches Victoria Falls, they find that pothole before they find a nice photo of something else. You understand?
Yes.
Because my thought is, a lot of people take photos every day. We take photos here every day.
Right.
So how come when I'm posting, I don't put the hashtag Victoria Falls?
Right.
Imagine if everyone who took a photo anyway, whether you work in a lodge or you went to a lodge or to a restaurant to have lunch. People always take photos of their food and where they are these days. And if everyone who is involved in this industry, whether players or the people who are employed by that industry, in general, I'm saying that everybody from Vic Falls.
Right.
If each and every photo of anything beautiful that you took and you're saying this represents Victoria Falls, and you would hashtag it Victoria Falls, we wouldn't have so much negative stuff coming on top of positive stuff on our social media.
True. What has happened with the social media now is the negatives moves more. There's more appetite for that.
Yeah.
And as a country, some people forget that the damage is more for everyone. It's not maybe limited to government.
Oh, yeah.
Because the perception normally is we are sending a message to the authorities. But ultimately, yes, it is what it is. But the effect of the negative part that it builds affects us in the end of the day.
Yeah. No, I like the insights. But please, government, 10 months, let it be 10 months. 10 months, guided 10 months. So that, if you go on that road, if you didn't know, you'll be very angry.
I will cross our fingers.
Now that you know, make sure you know that you're going to spend a lot of time there. Use a high car. Don't speed up if you're using a small car. In general, don't just speed up. But I like the solutions you came around, especially for people who are actually looking for adventure. Go around the Botswana way for now. And also the long-term authority, rather long-term fix that you could pitch to the authorities is obviously the NRZ. Now we're moving to a lighter, more chilled. We're getting out of politics and coming to the fun. This Friday, Makhadzi, I actually have the poster here. All right. So this Friday, Makhadzi is going to be in Vic Falls for the first time. That's Friday the 19th. So she also going to be joined on stage by Judgment Dad from Harare Baka. From Vic Falls, of course, Raz, that's Raz Mashlazi. Some know him as he used to be Raz Boom back in the day. Nkosiminator, Tivara, DJ Fatso. Mr. T, I know him is from Wange. DJ 1000, Ignite Makhadzi, Mafia King, J Tonga, and Teddy Rex. So what I like about this list, besides there's like 8 artists from Vic Force.
Right.
There's 2 DJs that are from Mwangi, that's Mr. D and Tivara. And then there is 2 artists from Harare, that will be Baga and Judgment Yard. And of course, the Queen, all the way from Mzansi, Limpopo. How do you feel about it?
It is good for the destination. Those are big names. Makhadzi has done very well in the music industry. She's from Limpopo,
Yeah.
which is very close to Zimbabwe. So if you listen to the lyrics, they have a semblance of languages spoken here. And she's done good collaborations, I think, with the likes of Jabreza. So she's a signature artist. Or maybe we could call it a wow artist.
Yeah, she is a wow
Like
artist.
Victoria Falls.
She's a wow artist.
So you'd find that Victoria Falls is known as the world of wonders. So the artists that perform here have to have that signature.
Yeah.
Being a wow artist.
Yeah.
We're not just picking anybody from the streets. She's done very well in South Africa. She's done very well on the...
And she actually posted on Facebook to say that, let me tell you about Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe is a beautiful country. I always perform there, but I've always said I want to perform in Victoria Falls, and it's finally happening. You know, I just like it. Also, her giving that respect and showing it and pushing it out there to the world to say that, you know, there's a place like this one.
Vic Falls is a signature place that everybody in their lives have to have. And for an artist to have a picture with the Victoria Falls behind her, you're going to see her Facebook, it's just going to go wild. So from a tourism point, it's a huge mouthpiece or a huge market tool because her fan base is wide.
Yeah.
And the moment she starts posting, whether it's the Victoria Falls, whether it's the warthogs in town or the elephants that move around, it's going to have a very positive impact from the destination. So yes, it's going to be a good Friday. And yes,
it's going to be lit. It's going to be vibey.
It has to be.
And also now coming to the vibe, what do you think in general about the entertainment vibe of Vic Falls? Are we vibey enough?
No, we're not. We're very sad destination.
We used to be vibey when there was the carnival. Is that what you're saying? Because there's this thing that a lot of people do, right? Someone who existed in some generation in the 90s always tell you, you guys, you don't know they're fun. As we used to, you understand? So is that what it is, or we're really sad?
We're very sad. And I think if I take back from the initial question about my side hustle, because back then, I think just late 90s, Vic Falls used to have about 4 big nightclubs.
Okay.
So when it comes to the evening, currently, Vic Falls goes dead, was quiet.
Except the ass will be grooving in there.
except when you look at a few restaurants, I won't mention names, which are considered to be the ones to go. But when that is taken out, a guest who's coming from outside does not have a place or a signature.
Yeah.
If you look at places like South Africa, if you go to your Durban, for example, you then hear of famous streets that you know that if you go to that particular street,
it's just happening. It's party street. So with the red light district.
When you look at Vic Falls, with the one that has, it needs something close to Ibiza. Well, you've got international DJs, international artists performing. And because tourism is a daily consumption, you're not waiting for a specific, like a carnival you said. The carnival was big. It was big, international artists, local artists. It was huge. But now you need that on a daily basis. Because today's client is different from tomorrow's client. And everybody needs that vibe.
You know, like, as you say that you need this every day. You do know that in certain areas when there's a kick, the residents might complain. So I'm now thinking they complain once in 2 months, and then now you're saying every street.
You from an experience point of view, tourism is daily. Every time at the airport, if you go to Vic Falls Airport, we always have more than 12 airlines. Everyone wants an experience. So if we're going to go to sleep at 9 o'clock, All you've done is you've shut down on the economy. And if you share the 6 hours of people buying their PS, being saved, that's a lot of money.
Yes.
So you'd find the target for the Ministry of Tourism is a $5 billion industry.
And we can't make that sleeping at 9.
So you can't. Literally, you're saying to the clients, go to bed, keep your money, we'll see you in the morning. If you go in other destinations, things start to happen at 11 and 12. By the time you get to 3 o'clock, people are now going out of the game drive. So it's a 24-hour industry. So we need to find a way of moving in it, coming up with world-class entertainment. We just don't need an ordinary
World-class entertainment that's marketed the same way that our hotels and lodges,
100%.
that's marketed out there. Because also I feel like a lot of times when there's a joint opening, someone is trying to make money every day, and then maybe subconsciously the target becomes the local. Yes, the local can actually feed you to whatever is being possible for the international flight.
That's what Skip was. Yes, we've got a couple of local nightclubs, but they're not of the standard of the guests that's coming in. So they got stale. Right.
No, that's okay. I totally understand you. And also, despite the fact that, you are looking at a longer solution of having everyday vibes, but that void, the carnival void, what do we do about it? Carnival, Mapopoma. Earlier on, I actually did a blog about it. I spoke to both sides, and they cited different issues. I remember Mapopoma said, they were not getting as much as they were putting in. They were not getting what they expected. It's a money issue. The profit is not there. Carnival, similar story, and also to do with okay, now we're dealing with certain issues. We need to pay up certain things and then restart the whole thing. But now looking at we're in September, we can rest assured we're not going to have that PC.
The problem that we have in the virtual force, when you look at big courses like the carnivore, it has to do with your sponsorship. If you look at, I'll give you 2 examples by own admission. The names, there's one in Cape Town and there's one in Harare, but it's powered by a bank. So you find the outlay of money or investment in a carnivore has to be somewhat of financial capability. And those banks then use that for the advertisement. It becomes a soul carnivore.
Yes.
Or concert. Like the one I'm talking about in Cape Town, I think it's the jazz festival. It's powered by a bank. And what that's done in Harare, I'll use an interesting term. It's called the Jacaranda something.
Oh, no, and
It's powered by a bank as well.
Okay.
So I find that it has all the financial needs. And when people turn up, it becomes fine, sustainable. There's no loss. So the numbers of people attending will balance off the investment. If you look at the carnival, for example, we had the likes of the paladins.
Yeah.
So it means we're all to something. By now, we should be hosting Opera.
Yes.
We should be hosting Big Day, because you're saying the draw card is a Victoria Fox.
Yes.
Anyone wants to be folk here. I think recently we had PJ Powers.
Yeah.
So we are the right destination for it. But we do not have...
People know in April that they're going to have Coldplay in Africa, in Victoria Falls. Even somebody who's got their trip anywhere around Sadak will know that on this night, I have to be in Zig Falls.
Yes. And then why I mentioned Coldplay was one of the bed members is the bar.
Okay.
Coldplay. Okay. So you'd find that for him, it's a way of showing the world his backbone.
Yes.
Yes. And these guys have done very well. Sure, you can pick up other artists that are coming up in the world who are big and who are public. It choose Vic Falls as a way of showing off. As I say that's called its way of showing off. What for an artist? So we still have an opportunity to come up with a big show. I mean, if you look at South Africa right now, one of their biggest DJs is at Black Duffy. He came for the carnival, which means it's doable. But it's the willingness of the investors to say, can we pour money to this? Will it be a success?
Can tourism also invest in that? I always feel like this is just a feeling,
Right?
And maybe a little bit of an experience as a DJ as well,
Right?
As an artist myself, I always feel like they're not too involved or too concerned about entertainment. So while that can look like it plays out to say, hey, we're not looking for any artists to come begging for money from us or to do their gigs, I think it then ends up having this ripple effect of you think that, hey, you're not going to sponsor these artists, don't care much about them. But that's why we end up with no bars in the city. And that noise, the bars that I'm talking about, bars is in BUZZ.
Right.
That noise then translates to you having to close shop at 9.
Right.
The lack of, because
I think
the local scene should be able to provide something heavy enough.
right.
It shouldn't always be about we are bringing people from outside. The local scene should be buzzing enough to have more than 2 places going, until 2 a.m.
I'll give you a very interesting experience in my life. There's one time I went to Mauritius. And you won't believe this, we traveled an hour for dinner. Now, when you look at an hour distance at Victoria Falls, you're going as far as what?
No, going one, yeah.
Thank you. So, in between Wange and Victoria Falls, should be able to take people away from the town. It created an event which is wow enough. So, either you can go into your rural tourism, set up nice carnival setup venues where the experience the local flavors with its food. Nowadays we're talking gastronomy.
Yes.
That becomes your punchline to say if you want to experience the real Zimbabwe gastronomy. And when you look at Vic Falls, it's got what they call a kaleidoscope of tribes. You got the Toka, you got the Napia, you got the Debele. And if you're able to create a venue that can offer those attributes and have a batch, as you want to call it, that works. So the gap is there, the opportunity is there. And as I'm saying that the moment you create an opportunity for a guest, everybody wants to dance. Everybody likes music.
Yeah.
Everybody likes a vibe. So it becomes something that someone who's coming from Italy that, you know what, are going to dress up in a traditional garb and show my moves. But the location has to be correct. So you move everybody away from the normal city life. Take tour buses out. In the morning they come back. It becomes an experience. It becomes a signature. Whether they put it on location, because nowadays technology allows you to move in there. Somebody, America, will be able to see like this guy is in the middle of the village, but he's having a blast. So we need to move it quickly to say, you know what, how do we create the vibe that's with the local flavor? Yes.
All right. Before we move on to the next segment, we need to pay rent to you.
I think.
Yeah, because the sun is actually setting right now, and if you can actually see this one, the sun is actually setting. So if you want to do a boat cruise, make sure to book with Kalai Safaris. Our cruise rates are as following. As a matter of fact, we offer sunrise, lunch, and sunset cruises, birthday cruises, team building. You can do your team building as well as a venue hire. So you can actually use the boat as your venue, or you can actually use the jetty site. Our cruise rates are as follows: $25 per person. That is with cash bar, or you actually bring your own snacks and drinks. So basically, just pay $25. You come through with your cooler box. And then for $45 per person, that one there includes everything. There's going to be food and snacks. And then for school trips, what you call the educational tours, those ones there are $15 per student. That's $15 per student. So make sure to book with Kalai Safaris, and all these prices that I just mentioned includes park fees. So for you to book, you can call or WhatsApp 0777 011 812. You can call or WhatsApp 0777 011 812. Can we have the second number in the email?
I'll be doing the computers now. Right, the second number is 0712 629 336 or 712 629 336. And that's for WhatsApp and calls. If you want to look at the website, it's www.kalaisafaris.com. You'll be able to see some of the things that we do. And we're also live on Facebook and Twitter, or the same handle, Kalai Safaris. That will give you some of the things that we're doing, and also going back into history. If we go into the archives, I can tell you that you want to move very fast, because we've got some amazing memories. All those amazing.
Yeah. Views and Vibes with JVan, the podcast, episode 1. The sun is setting, but we're not yet done. I just want to pick your brain on something that this is totally away from tourism. Right. This is totally away from entertainment. This is real life, social life. So, when I was saying good thing, Bulawayo, right? When I went to Bulawayo, I was actually going to Midlands. For a National AIDS Council a media tour. In essence, we were taken to get an appreciation of the work that is being done by National AIDS Council, and also get an appreciation on the ground of the actual situations down there. So we went to Kokwe South, we went to Shurupi, we went to Vumbu. So in essence, we're just in that area, Kwekwe.
Right.
Areas around Kwekwe. So what was that place called? Kwatema.
Right.
Yeah. All those places there. So obviously, the number one, there is the issue of artisanal miners, which means there's a lot of cash,
Right.
that flows in there. There's gold in those areas, which then leads to prostitution.
Right.
It's a life, and it's so normalized. But that wasn't the issue. I want to look at the issue of men now. So then there's the issue now. So there are a lot of programs that National AIDS Council is doing there, including something that they call the one strategy that's so beautiful, the peer-led strategy, whereby they're going to, say, a mining setup. They identify a mentor from within the mine. That is to say, they'll pick someone who actually works there in that mine to be their point person, to identify people, to have a caseload of people, and then to also make sure they disseminate information to do with issues with HIV and AIDS. Then that person has their caseload, and then also makes sure that the people that they're looking after get eventually to clinics and hospitals, to health facilities that are around them. So that's how their peer-led model is working. So essentially, it makes it easier if someone in a mine that you're working with is the one who approaches you, because people are not usually free to give away, maybe say, their HIV status, or if someone has got maybe an STI, they usually want to be quiet. But if one of us here becomes a peer mentor, then it makes it easy for me to want to go to hospital, or to tell him as soon as something is going on. But in general, this is what happens. There are a lot of programs. There's the free male circumcision that is going on as well. So apparently, men are not into that. I even attended one of the discussions at this clinic called Katema Clinic. It's in Kogo South as well. When we're in that discussion, you'd openly hear a man saying, I'm not going to do circumcision because I don't know where they're going to take my skin. Those kind of conversations. Somebody would tell you, I'm not going to pay for sex and then use a condom. And so now the issue becomes, with all the strategies, everything that was being spoken about, in National AIDS Council has got CREP, right? That is the one that protects one from, getting HIV. And then it seems women are the ones who are taking this thing serious. But men do not want to be circumcised, or most men do not want to be circumcised, especially adult men. Right. They do not want to use condoms. They do not want to go for testing at the clinics. Right. They don't even want to go with maybe, say, the wife, if the wife is pregnant. So they don't even want just to go with the wife to the hospital, because during that time there are tests that need to be done, especially to HIV, so that they prevent mother to child infections. So that was my observation, and also when we're listening to the district 8 court letters, the one in Kogo South say the same. That was Mr. Isaac Edison. Right. Same goes for the one in Shurubi, mentions the same thing. In specific words, it is said that men have low health seeking, ways of doing things. And I'm asking from a social perspective, or from your experience, say, why is it that at that?
Right. It really test subject, a topic.
Maybe it's okay to not stop. I think we did tell our viewers that we are on the boat, so at times we pull up major. But you can keep cutting.
Right. That issue when we look at maybe the context of Africa, I would want to say, not that I'm an expert on it, I think it has to do more with our culture. It also, the diseases that we talked about, unlike your STIs, which used to be dealt with within the communities. So the new diseases that came through, they were foreign to our society, and also a treatment of them. If you look at, for example, in this initial stages of the first years of its coming onto the blood or into the society, HIV, it wasn't there within our society. And normally men in communities are the ones who are supposed to have solutions to these things. So when you look at the issue of a new disease, and then you've got a culture, let's say, for example, circumcision, you have a clash where the need to have men stepping up to it, they are now afraid to go in there because of the fear of the unknown. And when the unknown is there, if a man contracts HIV, at times it's very hard for him to accept as the breadwinner that I'm down and out. So any further ways of exposing yourself to a danger that you already know that is there, going to test is going to make it worse. Because now you're being told. At times people say it's better they are not. I can fight it and I can deal with it. Yet you're literally seeing that your body is losing. But the fact that you're a breadwinner, the fact of you hearing that message that you're positive, instead of building you up, it destroys you. So at times people say, the better you might not know, and I'll deal with the circumstances.
But my feeling is the issue that is I feel like the behavior of men, women are actually bearing the brunt for that.
It's true. The reason why women are tested more now, the society is changing. It used to be a very patriarchal society where the men dominate. So the girl child now is stepping on and becoming a source of economy. In other words, women don't necessarily need us that much at all. As long as she's able to fend for herself, she's going to see the need to go get tested for the long-term part of it.
Okay.
But as long as the dominating factor is the man and is reluctant to do that, it means it compromises the entire family. So the change now is in such that I wanted to share an interesting history about these STIs or sexually transmitted diseases.
Yeah.
Back when I was growing up, our uncles would brag about having an STI. It was supposed to be the thing. This story
To show that I've been out there.
Nico and Mr. Blair, you'd agree, right? To having an STA, it was an achievement.
Yeah.
But now we find that it has turned around whereby having an STI now, it means the breadwinner is being cut out.
Yeah.
And the breadwinner is afraid of the consequences of now that are positive.
Mm-hmm.
It means I'm going to die. So again, it goes back to what I spoke about earlier, the need for continuous education amongst men, amongst the young boys to realize that there's a solution.
Yeah.
And nowadays you can get HIV positive and live a healthier life than the one who's negative. Yeah. And it only takes education and understanding that the solution is now in the medicine.
Yes.
And because as I say, culturally, those solutions were not from the medical side.
Yeah.
There was a certain alcohol, a certain tobacco who would give you a this.
And not to say these are the actual states, but these were my observations. I felt like in our conversations, young boys are leaving school, in favor of obviously being a makorokoza and stuff.
Right.
And they're indulging at a very young age. And of course, these peer-led things, I always feel like it's easier to control a child. I know kids can be a problem, but my general feeling was that with this peer-led program, it's working perfectly, and especially for these youngins, the ones that are in business, those 19-year-old to 20-year-old and all that. But I thought from the discussion, especially the one we had at Katema, that it's the adults who do not believe they need to use a condom.
Yes.
It's the adults who do not believe they need to be circumcised. And then also the issue now is when they refuse to go to the clinic, what happens is that there's information that's disseminated to the wife and the husband doesn't know.
Right.
Which is why somebody will then come to a house and find the wife with pills, PrEP. That means you're protecting yourself from against.
Right.
You don't have HIV. But that person doesn't know because they don't have that information because they don't go to the clinic.
Right.
Then they're like, the moment you're drinking pills, it means that you have something. Where did you get it? And do you know what other men do? They don't go to the clinic.
Right.
The lady goes to the clinic, then they say, Yako, and they are
They switch.
Yes. So they say if the wife tests negative, it means that
She's what?
know what to do. The wife is the one who goes. If you test Yakondeango, so that it becomes tricky. But maybe if I can ask you the last question, if you could design a campaign yourself, what would be the main message for the men? If you could design a campaign to get men to test, to get men to participate in more healthy behavior.
I didn't see this word coming. But I think I would say maybe be man enough so that we can provoke that you are a man.
Okay.
Be responsible. Even take a test,
With men, being man enough is a big thing. So if we challenge it by saying, if you're scared of testing, then it means they're not men enough.
I think so. It becomes a vibe with the bars. It becomes a vibe with society that are made enough. We can test it not for yourself, but for the entirety of the family and everyone else. So I think yes, that's my punchline. Let's be made enough.
Let's be men enough. All right, Mr. Chakanya, let's go to our final segment. I'm just gonna hit you with some quick fire questions. You just give us tips. So the first one being best time of the year to visit Victoria Falls and why?
Best time would be your May to August.
May to August. Why?
Because that's when the water levels are quite high.
Okay.
And your photography is the best. You will clear the skies, it will cloud in the sky, and the temperatures are much better.
May to August. Yes. When is it cold? June, July is cold, but don't if it falls. All right. Okay, what you mean? We don't have no winter. Yes. All right, May to August. Okay, the second one underrated activity that every first timer should try.
Underrated activity would be but it's a bit sis though. I think the Victoria Falls or the fall.
Oh, yeah.
So that's the most underrated.
I won't level of that one. Yes. But on a different tip, back in the day, like in my first years in Vic Falls, I used to feel some type of way if I'm crossing the bridge at night. Like I feel like
something's happening.
So I'm not too sure if I want to actually do that. A lot of people say it's beautiful and all, but I'm thinking, can I really come and see the falls?
I think it's worth it because you got a different light. I think it's what experience that is just know that the full moon is only every day. Yeah. So that makes it special.
No, maybe I'm just superstitious.
Whilst when you're very romantic, it's the best. It's best.
Yes, yeah. Favorite spot for sunrise coffee or sunset drinks? I think let's do with sunrise coffee because we just saw the view for the sunset.
Favorite coffee?
Yeah, favorite spot for sunrise coffee.
No, that's a hard word. A favorite drink?
No, favorite spot for your morning coffee, for your sunrise morning coffee in Vic Falls.
That's a hard word, eh? That's a hard word. Whoa. What could I say? Give me the clues.
You can choose any place where you can just watch the sunrise. Could be another establishment or something.
I would say for your best sunrise would be the Zambezi. I'll bring you back here.
Okay.
Yes. The next one is which one?
It was sunrise coffee or sunset drinks.
The sunset. Wow. The best sunset. I'll say the bridge.
Oh, the bridge.
Yes.
I would actually do opposite.
Do the reverse.
I was once at another establishment that would be Lookout.
Yes.
we were shooting the sunrise. So there's a point where if you're there, you kind of crediting it from the bridge. So I think for coffee, I would go that side. This is for the morning coffee. The most surprising wildlife encounter that you've ever had.
Elephants.
Yes. What do they do?
It was on a game drive. In one of the parks called Chababodo.
Yeah.
And there were almost like 40 elephants.
40.
Yes. And it was on a bed, and all of a sudden, you're pushing through the bed, and the elephants come out.
Oh, yeah. No, I can see. See how that one might.
We didn't stop, we continued, but yeah, it was nerve-breaking.
Yeah. I had an experience with elephants. We parked, but it was right on the road there. I think next to that waterworks on the road. Yeah, and this elephant was just eating there on the other side of the road. We park here. Then it acts like it can't see us.
Right.
Then as soon as it was right adjacent to the car, it just turned around. Whoa! And then came like this. But now, with an experienced guide, we knew that this thing is not attacking. All he kept saying was, keep quiet.
Right.
Now, hey, all of us in the car, we're not that type.
Yes.
We're already, everyone was right outside. And
Elephants never would. If your lights are all during the night, deep them. Because elephants with light, especially the young ones, they get attracted.
All right.
And the mother is seeing danger. So you've got two interesting things happening there.
Yeah.
One is enjoying the light. The other is coming for you.
yeah.
Yes.
All right. The last one, a local phrase that every visitor should learn.
Chinotipa.
Chinotimba.
Yes.
Meaning,
Strange enough, that's the other word for Victoria Falls. And that is from the Nambia tribe. You have to break it into two.
Yeah.
Chino, which is that, and Tipa is a sound. So every visitor to Victoria Falls has to know that they are not in Victoria Falls, but in Chinoti.
yeah, yes. I remember back in the day, I would listen to radio. You know, those calling shows, somebody says, I'm in Victoria Falls, Chino Timber. And the only Chino Timber that would come into my mind
He's a politician.
was the politician. I'd be like, how did it get a whole area named after him in another city? In general, I would just think of the politician and never really understand why he have that kind of a place called Chino Timber. Mr. Chakanya, thank you so much, JVan, for being the first ever guest of our new podcast, Views and Vibes with JVan. If you are watching this at this point, which means you're actually watching the end, thank you so much for watching our very first episode. This is Views and Vibes by JVan. And of course, we're going to be doing this each and every week, bringing you tourism and entertainment insights. And of course, a little bit of what will be going on in that particular time. My name is Jonathan Spanda, also known as DJ JVan. Please make sure our page is new. It's called Romo Media. That is where we're going to be posting each and every episode of our Views and Vibes. So make sure to click a like. Make sure to click a follow, subscribe rather, and then also click on that, what do you call it, the bell. Yes, make sure to click the bell so that every time I drop something there, you actually get to be the first person to view it. So thank you so much for being the very first viewer. Views and Vibes were all about the beautiful views, or all about the views from myself and my guests. And of course, the vibes, they come with the entertainment. DJ JVan signing off. Siyabonga.